30 yards, I suppose 30 yards is kind of okay.
Yay, 30 yards.
30 yards, Screamer. Well done.
What a fucking letdown Ozturk is.
He is actually the one shining bright spot in a very, very dull day that we just had in Tynecastle. Welcome to the slightly subdued We Have No Cares podcast. I'm Nicol Hay.
I am Robert Borthwick.
And our special guest...
I am Andrew Henry Bowie.
Bowie.
Full name.
No, well, it's the first time we've had a triple barreler on the We Have No Cares podcast. It just shows how far we've progressed in such a short time.
We've come so far.
World-renowned author Andrew Henry Bowie as well.
It's a real pleasure to be here. I'm a huge fan of the show.
Absolutely, the pleasure is all ours. Okay, well, and you may hear in the background the contributions of Ian Walker, audience member for today.
I don't think you'd be laughing at you.
Well, mixed emotions today from Tynecastle, I feel. Possibly the worst performance we've actually seen from Hearts this season. Lit up by a wonderful goal and still 3 points. Robert is making a face.
I don't think it's the worst performance. I think it's our worst win of the season, if that makes sense. I think
it doesn't. Leave.
Oh, okay. Well, bye. No, I think that we played worse against Hibs. I think we played a lot worse against Hibs.
Now Bowie's making a face.
Oh Christ, there's faces all over the place here.
No, I mean...
Just going to throw faces at you.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great performance today, by any stretch.
No.
But the thing about the Hibs game was, compared to today, is today was a really shitty day weather-wise.
Yeah.
And we were up against a team who were just out to spoil us big time. They were a really physical team. And I think in the greater part of it, to win 1-0 today and get 3 points, I think it was a great result. And yeah, it wasn't a great performance, but I'm absolutely delighted to get 3 points.
Absolutely, I wouldn't disagree with you at all. I think that, you know, the fact that we can grind out results like that is a fantastic trait of the squad. I think it's wonderful, but I think we played worse against Hibs than we did today. I think we still carved out more chances. I think we were still more solid defensively and through the midfield. I think we definitely played worse against Hibs, but this is the worst win that we've had this season. But the emphasis is on win. Because
I'm going to come right out here and be a coward and agree with both of you. I'm going to agree with Robert's.
What an absolute shitebag!
I'm going to agree with Robert's very good point that we didn't play quite as well attacking wise against Hibs because we abandoned our passing game against Hibs. Whatever else happened today, we did try to play it on the deck with mixed results. But I'm also going to agree with Mr. Bowie here because I think Bowie. I'm going to agree with Mr. Bowie here and pronounce his name correctly, just out of the most basic element of courtesy. Mr. Bowie, you made the point that Raith Rovers made it very difficult for us today, and I actually think this is what, like, the Raith Rovers seem to be built to do this, and they did their game plan to perfection, which was they were very well drilled, they were very compact. I think any team would have struggled to break them down, conditions notwithstanding. But conditions, I think, were also what gave Alim the assist on his fantastic goal. Should we discuss the goal first? Because there's really not much else to discuss in the game.
To be fair, it came after 5 minutes, so I think it's the first thing we should discuss.
Yeah, well, the first thing we should discuss is the hilarious banter of everyone shouting "shoot" whenever Alim got on the ball. Shoot! Oh, he scored the goal from far away. Shoot! And
then he fucking did.
Well, Simon actually said, who sits next to us, he said, this is going to wear out very quickly, but. Just the words were just off his lips when the man himself, Mr. Ozturk, stepped forward, took a touch, and set himself up, and we were like, "Well, shoot then, you might as well." And even when he actually, pulled the trigger, you're thinking, well, can this actually go in? There was still that moment. It was almost like last week. There was still a moment of reflection after the actual decision was taken.
We were caught between going, and ooh.
Ooh!
And incredibly, incredibly, he scored. You know.
Big ups to Raith keeper Mr. McGurn. Is that his name? McGurn. McGurn. That's his name. I don't have his first name on my phone here, so we'll just go with McGurn.
Colin.
McGoldrick McGurn.
Yep.
That's his name now.
Yep.
Don't try and deny it. McGurn's mother.
From my angle, which is very similar to both Nicol and Mr. Bowie's angle, the keeper should have done a lot better with that.
I think slipperiness really played its part.
Slipperiness gains an assist for the goal.
Yeah.
That's an assist for slipperiness. But it was a great strike again.
We all got slipperiness in our fantasy teams, by the way. That's 3 points. It's an important 3 points.
That's an important. Exactly. It's he shouldn't have let it in. But at the same time, I couldn't stop laughing for 10 minutes because it was Alim fucking Öztürk.
That's a strong emotion. That's what I felt. We were celebrating, we were hugging each other, but like
it was one of the great celebrations of the season.
As much as we were cheering, we were laughing our tits off.
Yeah, but it was a great.
You are a titless man, as I look at you now. So the rest of the game developed from there. Like I say, we did try to pass through the midfield, and I think we were all quite confident that we would take it to Raith after that. But they were stolid. They are Grant Murray's team in everything.
We kept the ball so fucking well in the first half. Like they did not really have a touch of the ball, apart from when we had maybe a couple of more indecisive through balls, or a couple of crosses from King or Nicholson that didn't really go our way, and then their players would pick up. Other than that, they didn't have anything, and Gomez and Blabin were back to their sort of usual self, whereby they don't lose the ball. Even if they're getting closed down by 3 players, they don't lose the ball. They find the pass. Mm-hmm. It's quite even the thing I've noticed most about Morgado Gomez this season is the fact that he strolls while he's getting closed down by a player at full pelt, and.
He
somehow keeps
the entire stadium's shouting "man on." He's just like,
I'm absolutely convinced.
I've got this.
I'm convinced he was born getting shut down by a defender. That's how he learned.
Do you think maybe he's a twin and the other one was just sort of shadowing him the whole way? He's just I'm used to this now.
He just buffered him away. It's unbelievable. That was.
And there was a wonderful moment in the first half over by the Wheatfield stand when the big hatchet man for Raith.
Martin Scott, ex-Hibs, the proto Liam Craig.
He fucking looks like Voldemort now.
he was like a bald Lee McCulloch. That's what it reminded me of.
Yes.
Well, he was sort of throwing himself about quite a lot, but there was one particular moment right by the touchline by the Wheatfield where he was throwing himself in a couple of challenges, and then the ball broke to Gomez, and he just this beautiful back heel back to somebody. I think it was Eckersley or somebody.
The most nonchalant back heel you'll ever see. Yeah.
And then that one back heel, he destroyed this thug of a Raith Rovers football player, And I fully expect to see this on the Sports Bible tomorrow.
Yeah, but Martin Scott was genuinely looking around him, somebody had touched his arse and moved away. And he was
he didn't know the ball was gone. It was like Gomez had put the ball up his jumper and ran away. He was like, "Where's the ball? The ball's gone." It's like, "No, we've already sold you a dummy, mate." But it was a beautiful moment, probably the highlight of the first half, other than the goal.
Yes,
he reacted to that back heel in the way most people react to street magicians.
You what, mate?
So what? No, you're a witch.
Burn him.
It was a great moment.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, we're really padding out the first half.
Yeah, we're struggling. I think
great chance for King when he was through on goal.
Oh yeah. Well, again, slipperiness played a part in both creating the chance and then destroying the chance.
What player slipperiness is?
Yeah, it was a strong ball that went skiting through. Billy King ran on from a clearly onside position.
Fucking great ball from Öztürk for that. To be fair, that was an absolute.
Yeah, but it was the conditions that carried it away from the defence.
Why he meant it.
Okay, but it was also the conditions that carried it away from Billy's stride, which meant he couldn't take the shot when it should have been the shot.
That was the thing. His first touch was actually very good. It was his second touch that was a bit of a nightmare. He took it in well enough, but the pelt that he was running at, I don't think he could really control it, which is a bit of a shame. Great run, great ball, but
I think Billy King of August would have scored it.
yes, Billy King of
Certainly
August.
September.
Yeah.
And maybe even October, but this month's Billy King wouldn't have scored that in
And he didn't.
No, he certainly. In fact, he did anything but. He just sort of ran over the line.
Yeah, I know.
It was a very, very good chance, and I think if he'd actually, taken his touch and then a shot, then we would have been looking at 2-0.
It was almost looking at, he almost could have taken it first time.
The
keeper was that dedicated, that committed to it, that he couldn't.
Again, I think the reason he didn't is that the conditions took it out of his stride.
Absolutely.
For me, though, the real bright spark of the first half was Mr. Bowie's fancy man, like the man that he's always been singing the praises of, even before he actually took the pitch for Hearts. Sufyan El Hasnaoui, I thought worked very well in the first half. He was again playing the number 9 role. He was our furthest forward striker. Now, those of you who remember back at the dim and distant past of the Hibs podcast will remember when he was pushed into that role. He didn't do particularly well.
No.
He didn't survive. I think he played better this way because I get the impression that we'd known for a few days that Osman Sow wasn't going to be fit to play.
Yeah.
So we kind of set the team up to work towards El Hasnaoui rather than forcing El Hasnaoui to do a bad Osman Sow impression.
Yeah.
So he was dropping back a bit more. It wasn't quite a Messi-esque false 9, but he was more involved in build-up play and sort of trying to provide for other people, even though he was the furthest forward striker. Again, Raith being as doty as they are, doted him out of the game with dotedness and dotiosity.
Yes.
But I thought he was pretty good, and I thought it was kind of weird that he was the player that was sacrificed for Keatings in the 53rd minute as well, quite an early substitution. Your thoughts, Robert?
I will respectfully disagree.
Then get out
again. Not with everything you're saying. In the first half, I totally agree. I thought his touch was there. He was finding passes and stuff like that, and he was doing fine. But the main lack of our killer instinct in the first half was the fact we didn't have anyone running onto balls, because El Hasnaoui's instinct as a striker, as a forward player, is to drop deep.
Okay, well then, is that his fault, or is that the fault of whoever was in the rotating number 10 role behind him, either Nicholson or Walker, as it was for most of the first half?
To be honest with you, I think the point is that we had a bunch of players playing positions that didn't necessarily match an attacking formation. I mean, it sounds ridiculous with 3 wingers and a forward, but none of them really, apart from King with that one instance we just spoke about, made that incisive run. That's what Osman Sow does. Osman Sow can play off the shoulder. James Keatings can play off the shoulder. El Hasnaoui doesn't do that. That's not the sort of player he is. So, the ball was sticking up front. That's fine. He was taking it in. He was finding the pass, but then no one was, darting off him to make a run into the middle. And that I think that is where one of the main sort of downfalls came from.
Okay, I don't know how you feel, Mr. Bowie, but I kind of felt that when we took off El Hasnaoui rather than, say, Billy King, who maybe wasn't having his greatest game, this not being the August version, we ended up with 4 very, very similar players up front. And then, later on it was Robbie Buchanan who came on, who, again, is small, technical, incisive, quick. So I felt maybe we kind of lacked a bit of variety up front when we sacrificed El Hasnaoui.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I thought El Has did very well in the first half. I thought he was involved. He was taking the ball. He was trying to lay it off. He was trying to do the good things. In the second half, when he went off, it was like a sort of Sensi soccer team, in the Sega Mega Drive. It was too many little guys.
Do I? Well, yes, I do.
Maybe certainly my era. It's still the greatest game that's ever been, any sort of computer game, I think.
I'm too young to get it up you.
Yeah, well,
he's speaking truths, so quiet.
In fact, if I'd sat at the back of the Roseburn stand, it would have been like Sensi Soccer, because that was the view that you had. I think that we missed El Has when he went off, because he was that outlet for the ball being played into feet, and it just seemed to me that when he did go off, I was pleased that Keatings came on, because Keatings, he's a real busy guy. He wants to do it. You could see him chasing down the goalkeeper, just trying to get busy. And I think the real crux of the problem was that I think neither Nicholson nor King played well today. I think both of them were pretty anonymous. They just, you're looking for that spark from both of them, and they both got it. They both got it big time.
Oh yeah.
But today, and they just didn't perform. So I certainly, I was a little bit disappointed and surprised when El Haas went off. Maybe a fitness thing. Who knows?
Yeah,
but,
it could be, especially for how early he came off.
I genuinely think it was the right sub to make at the time, but it didn't quite work out for us. I think that I was basically calling for Keatons to come on for El Haas.
So you thought it was the right substitution?
Yeah, I do. At the time, I don't think looking at the sort of looking back at full time, I don't think maybe it was, but at the time, I was thinking yes, let's bring on Keatons for El Haas because he's a busy guy. He can do that kind of running and stuff like that El Haas maybe doesn't do. He can play off the last man.
In that case, I completely disagree with you because El Haas was doing a power of work. I thought.
Yeah, no, I
and
agree.
we completely missed that work rate when he went off.
No, what you think Keatons didn't have as much of a work rate?
Not in the same way. He didn't drop his deep.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like what we were missing in the first half was someone who can play off the shoulder because yes, we were keeping it. We were keeping it, we were keeping the ball for fucking.
So then, once the change was made, we were missing somebody dropping deep into midfield. We need both of them.
And
it was right to bring Keatons on, but not for El Haas. Jacques.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying because I felt at the time it was a right substitution. I felt that was the right substitution because that would be someone who can actually, play off the last man and get in behind.
I think that's not what you're saying.
Jacques,
but let's move on.
I
thought King was having a stinker, and I like King. He's a great player, but he was having a poor game today. I would have taken him off and kept El Haas on, definitely.
D'accord. That means I agree.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know I fucking know what it means. I lived in France.
Great news. Right, well, I'm going to return to one of my hobby horses for this podcast, but I think what actually really hurt us here today, we're playing a home game against a team that are determined to sit in and defend. What hurts today were the fullbacks that were kind of forced to choose. McGee, who is like he's a willing outlet, but he doesn't quite have the thrust of Patterson, and
he does not have the two-footed lunging tackles of Patterson.
No,
he just doesn't have that in his locker.
You can't train somebody to do that. That's natural talent. But we also, again, I know why Robbie Nielsen is picking Eckersley, and I don't think Eckersley is a bad player. But God, I think we missed McCarthy today.
Yes, and the classic example of that is the first half against Falkirk. When we were, was it 3-0 up in the first half?
Yeah.
I mean, that day was just liquid football, And my vision of that is we had Nicholson spraying it out wide to Keatings, and Hattersley
Roy Hattersley on the wing, the dynamic left winger of Roy Hattersley.
Have you been to the pub? Can you cut that?
No, we're keeping that. Hattersley.
No. We recovered. We saved it. It was funny.
Absolutely, Hattersley.
Mick Hattie.
Well said.
I thought he was wonderful that day, and there was just something. There was just little moments in that first half in that Falkirk game where it was just absolutely flowing down that left wing,
I think we get the same from McGeeterson.
Well, moving on, I mean, the only other sort of, I think, really remarkable thing to touch on today was Brad
Callum
Mackay's. Yes, that's the first time Callum Elliott's been called remarkable in quite some years. I was going to say Brad Mackay looking actually quite solid in defence as the he's always had the role as the most crazy member of the defence, but today he had to take a junior role to Aleem in that respect, and I think it suited him quite well.
Yeah, I thought Brad was fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Winning things in there, nothing really went past him.
Couple of loose balls.
Couple of loose passes, but he's not really...
It didn't cost us, did it?
It didn't cost us at all, you're absolutely right. And he's not a ball-playing centre-half.
He's a squad player, that's what he is, a squad player. And he came in today and he did a job.
It was a squad player coming into a squad and doing squad things.
He's got a fantastic beard.
Squaddy.
He's got a great beard.
Oh, what a beard.
His beard's coming on a treat.
His beard looks phenomenal. Beard Mackay.
What a squad. Yeah. But I think like your point that he was untroubled and his looseness didn't cost us. He's the greater point, and we can tie in Callum Elliott right now if you want. Raith are as blunt a team as you'll have ever seen. Like I
Fucking
say,
Callum Elliott though.
they are Blunty McBlunterson from the University of Blunt. They are, like I said earlier, Grant Murray in every single respect.
Yeah.
They are hardworking. They ran surprisingly fit, like pressing us
And
all the way to the end.
Also surprisingly slowly. Just like Grant Murray, they're slow as shit. They have got no pace.
No,
They have got no pace.
But a lot of teams this season have tired in the last 10 minutes against Hearts, especially at Tynecastle. And
Yeah.
they've scored goals in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Raith didn't really tire today, did they?
Absolutely.
In fact, you could argue they got stronger as the game went on.
Yeah.
the one player that they did have with a little bit of pace was their number 19, who
Barry Mackay, who's on loan from Rangers.
Okay.
Who's absolutely their best player by a distance, who they brought off with 20 minutes to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, he was
To a
really-
loud chorus of boos.
Yeah, like I was going to say, that booing was so loud I thought they were bringing on Naddy, but no, that didn't happen.
I wish Naddy, come on. I like Naddy.
Me too.
Yeah.
That would have been almost as funny as
What was your
Ellen's goal.
what was your favourite Naddy moment?
Oh.
I've got one.
I liked
Can I
it.
start?
I liked it when he bobbied the ball in against Hibs at Easter Road
Oh,
and then
okay.
lost his mind and kissed the badge. That was my
You know what
favourite.
my favourite part about that goal was? Is I was working for a well-known high street bookmakers at that time, so I was actually sitting in the Hibs stand
Yes.
when that went in, trying desperately to stifle my laughs while all around me were not laughing one little bit.
He genuinely put in with his dick. That's my favourite bit.
I was about 10 yards away from that. It was glorious.
Wonderful.
My favourite Naddy moment, which is also my least favourite Naddy moment, was when we were playing Dinamo Zagreb.
Oh yeah.
And I think maybe Chaba Laszlo had told him just to sort of hold his position in the centre circle for the whole match.
He took it far too fucking
And
literally, yeah.
he took it quite literally. And I remember at one point a ball got played over the top, and Michael Stewart sort of had to run beyond him and it was like you could see him say to Naddy, you sort of look back and say, "Can you not fucking run for this?" Mate? You know. But it was a tragic episode in Naddy's Hearts career, but he seems to have turned it around. Now, hasn't
Yeah.
he?
Somebody.
Look at his body now. You know.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I was going to say my favourite Naddy moment's when he scored against Hibs for Raith Rovers. So that was the story of the first half, and the story of the second half was, yeah, that's well,
No.
well, yes, that wraps up everything that you can usefully say about that Heart of Midlothian 1, Raith Rovers 0.
Thank fuck.
Yeah, was not a great game, but fortunately the week in Hearts has been quite entertaining. Now, I've maybe not read the press releases as closely as I can, but we own a boat now.
Yeah, we own a boat. Mm-hmm. We own a fucking big bastard boat. Mm-hmm.
Yep, and we will be sailing it to all away games, I think,
Yes.
including ones to like Stirling
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah.
Be
Yep.
very handy for Europe.
Yeah.
Tire scars around the funnel.
I see what you've done there.
Let's hope we don't get drawn against Grasshoppers Zurich.
So yeah, no, big fucking boat.
Big fucking boat, our official massive fucking boat partner,
That-
the HMS Queen Elizabeth.
The HMS Heart of Midlothian, as it will now be known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we own it.
Yeah, exactly. We can do whatever we want.
And Czech Airlines, remember that one?
Well, that's the thing, because we've now got a boat and we've got airlines.
Yeah.
Do we still have Czech Airlines? Are we sure about that one?
I will.
Well, I thought
Not-
it was forever.
It was a 99-year lease, just like the lease of Hong Kong.
Boat, not an aircraft carrier.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
oh,
yeah, Ian just
shit.
made a very good point that the boat is an aircraft carrier, so it might be filled with Czech Airbuses.
But essentially, what the Hearts, the Hearts board have to do now is get a train line and maybe a bus service, and then we can do whatever the fuck we want because we've got the infrastructure.
No, but then we'd be missing car. We need bus and car, and then again railway.
But you can't.
Or we could just go, we've travelled far by aircraft carrier. But also, and perhaps more salient and relevant to anything that happens, there was also a Q&A between fans on Kickback and Budge. And well, I wasn't there. Were you there, Robert?
I wasn't. No, I
Jesus,
definitely
we
wasn't
probably
there.
can't fucking talk about it then, unless somebody here was actually there.
Yes, I was there.
Oh, Bowie was there.
What happened?
Well, Anne put the call through and requested me.
She summoned you.
She liked my work, and yeah, I was there. I met
She
her
lit
for
the
2
Bowie
hours.
signal.
I was in the Great Women's Company for 2 hours on Tuesday.
Fantastic.
And,
What does she smell like?
What does she smell like?
Success.
Success, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say like Chanel number 5 or something, but yeah, she smelled like success and strawberries.
Well, that's great.
Tell us more.
Well, it was a sort of musky smell at first, but then
I was going to go more in the Q&A, but
sorry.
keep describing the scent if that's what you want to do. We are a one-track podcast.
Well, basically, I got asked to go along and sort of ask some questions, take some minutes, and yeah, I mean, we had 100 questions, but we whittled them down to sort of 30 most sort of relevant questions.
Most non-mental questions.
Yeah, I mean, some of them were, they were nice, like, what's your sort of average day like and all that. And I thought, well, if you were on Parkinson, that would be nice. but I wanted to ask sort of like closed questions, like ones that had definitive answers. And stuff. Like, I don't know, just like how many strips have we sold and all that sort of thing, and it was just...
How many strips have you sold?
Well, this is a bit of an exclusive.
Okay.
We have sold, have a guess actually, how many do you think we've sold?
7,000 billion.
Well, I don't think that's close, Nicole.
Really? I'm not great at maths.
Listen, I understand humour, but that wasn't, that wasn't humorous. I genuinely want to know the answer to this question, so get back in your fucking box.
Yeah.
Was it 7,000 billion? No, it was. I'm going to guess at about 9,000. That's...
Oh, Ian's guessing 51 over there.
We have sold, and I don't think this has ever been disclosed as of yet, but this is a sort of early little treat from the Q&A.
Oh,
we have
thanks.
sold 14,000 home and away.
Jesus
strips.
Christ!
Shit!
14,000 home and away, and another 500 of the poppy strips.
Fuck me, rigid.
So
basically, we've sold more tops than Hibs have attendances.
yes.
That's all I want to know.
Almost more than we have attendances.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. And I don't even have mine yet.
Yeah.
I've not even got a strip.
Well, I don't normally buy the strip, but I bought one this year because it's the greatest strip we've ever had.
It is lovely as
And
fuck.
I've always said we need a nice big white chunky collar
Yes.
and a dark maroon strip
I've
and
always
not a
agreed.
lot else. And people say, I don't like collars and strips. I'm like, give me a collar. There's your collar. There's your 14,000 sales.
Yeah.
So
That's incredible.
listen to Bowie and everything you do from now on.
Yeah.
Any other nuggets?
Well, I mean, the thing that I really took from it was it's kind of twofold. One was kind of slightly uncomfortable, was the fact that the whole place is falling apart in terms of the buildings. I mean,
Yeah?
I mean the
So
buildings
this is
are-
Tynecastle, you mean?
and the outer buildings,
Yeah,
the
the
Cloud
ticket
Street
office
buildings
and stuff
and all
like
that.
that, yeah.
I mean, the way that Anne Budge sort of told us. I mean, there was ceilings collapsing, plaster falling off the walls. I mean, even her own office.
TikTok.
Even her own office was, it looked like it's seen better days.
Right.
The old main stand we know is it's a grand old building, but it's a bit of a relic.
Mm-hmm.
But even the newer stands, I mean, there's paint that have just stripped back now, back to the metalwork. The Gorgie Suite was built basically down a ramp, and it floods all the time. So I mean, since Anne Budge came in, she is really fighting fires here.
Yeah.
In a metaphoric sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because the flooding and the fires would just cancel each other out. I don't see
It'd be
the
great if she was doing it in a
connection.
literal sense.
yes,
She came to work dressed as a
but
fireman.
I mean that was one point.
I am an executive, but I'm never far away from my hose.
That was one point she made.
Boats and hose.
Well, that's the title of the podcast, sorry.
But in a really positive sense, she has brought in a fantastic team around her. Mm-hmm. She's brought in a new head of finance, head of accounts, head of strategy, marketing, and director of football. She's brought in a really good team.
Yeah.
She's a really intelligent woman. She's passionate for Hearts. The one thing as well I took away from the meeting was that she's in no hurry to go anywhere. She's there for the full term, no matter what happens financially. She's there for the term, and maybe even beyond that.
Well,
if the if the need is there,
Well,
and the want's there.
Given everything that you've said to me, then I've got one more question about him, Budge. She seen anyone?
Yes, and he was there. He sat and he was there
bet
to keep
he's
an eye on
bloody-
me. He was there because, you know, Anne and I were making eye contact, and, you know,
Just an electricity in the air.
there was something. There was something there.
I bet he's bloody lovely as well.
He was a nice guy.
For fuck's sake!
He wore a nice sort of V-neck sweater, you know.
It sounds like a dick.
Yeah, no, fuck him.
Wait, is she married to Robbie Nielsen?
No, but she spoke highly.
Oh my god, please let's make that happen.
No, I want to be married to Robin
She
Nielsen.
couldn't have spoke more highly of Robbie.
Well, I don't think any of us could speak more highly of Robbie Nielsen. Robbie Nielsen is... I don't even have words. I've run out of vocabulary to describe him.
I have seen enough rom-coms to find Robin Nielsen in the rain today entirely fucking arousing.
I'm just a man in front of a football team trying to get them to put in a few crosses to the big one. You saw Robbie Nielsen quite early last week, didn't you?
Yes! No, I was going to the pub. It was great. It was last
Oh
Sunday.
my god, this story just gets better and better.
Yeah, I'd gone to watch the Man City Man United game at a bar called Nico's in Glasgow, which is a shit tip, but it's £2 for a pint, so why wouldn't you? And I was walking to the next bar, which is called the Hall, which is a shit tip, but pints are £2, so why wouldn't you? And Robbie Nielsen was on the other side of the road with his wife, and he was just walking, and I swear to God, I stopped. I stopped in my tracks. I just sort of thought.
Did he stop?
No, he didn't, but he saw me staring, and it was just really awkward, like, but...
Wait, did he see you staring because you stopped in your tracks and went,
I did shout, not shout, but say loudly, "Oh, there's Robbie Nielsen!" to my two Raith Rovers supporting friends who I was with. And Robbie was, if anyone's wondering, wearing
Wait a minute, two Raith Rover supporters.
Yeah.
You've just destroyed all credibility of this story. I don't believe you
They're
anymore.
brothers.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't believe it either.
Yeah, no, it's for anyone who's wondering, because, you know, we do discuss this a lot. He was wearing skinny black jeans with a pair of black sort of winkle picker shoes, you know, the pointy shoes. Accompanied with that, he was wearing a grey tweed.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Yes, I know, a grey tweed jacket, underneath which he had a grey tweed waistcoat.
oh yeah.
Underneath which he had a black shirt. And over that he was wearing a quite incredible scarf. And to be honest with you, his missus looked like shit compared to him.
I think what we can take from that is that this
Harsh.
is... Not harsh, but fair, let's face it.
Can we take a break so I can wipe myself down a little bit?
It's not that's me not being genuine. His wife looked lovely.
Yeah, apart from that, an incredibly successful week in the world of Heart of Midlothian. Anything else from the Q&A that you'd care to share, or should we just keep an eye on Kickback for the minutes?
Oh yeah, I mean they're going to be out in the next day or two, so I don't want to give anything else away.
Well, I'm glad that we got a professional writer in to do up these minutes. If anyone else isn't aware, Mr. Bowie is the author of an incredible book. What's it? Remind us of the title?
It's called The Death of Mr. Grumble.
That's the new book, though.
Yes.
Right. Well, of course, you're in full marketing mode.
Yes.
What's The Death of Mr. Grumble about?
It's a very dark comedy. It's about a TV presenter whose life gets turned upside down, and it's a real epic, you know.
Flip turned upside down.
Yeah, it's not like
Yeah.
I think we could make a song out of this.
Yeah. I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there.
It's unusual.
And socked in Edinburgh.
So close.
Pushing
so
it.
close. But you're well. I await this work with great. Is it been finished?
Yes, it's out.
Oh, it's out now?
Yeah, it's
Oh.
available on Kindle and Amazon downloads and all that stuff. You know.
Well done. You're
It's
showing up my research fantastically. But your previous work, which might be slightly more germane to this podcast.
Yes, yeah. I wrote a book called 2 Miles to Tynecastle, and it came out 2008, and yeah, it's basically a story about growing up and being a Heart of Midlothian football supporter.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah, there's a lot of tragedy there. There's some really sad parts of the book. 1986 May 3rd, and various moments after that.
Mm-hmm.
But we have our 1998 moment, and
Absolutely.
and all sorts of things are going on in that book. Girlfriends, jobs,
I like the
relationships.
bit where you shag the bartender.
That's my wife.
So it's like Fever Pitch, but 17 billion times better.
Oh yeah, it's much less pretentious and cliched than that.
Oh shit! Nick Hornby straight under the bus.
Fuck you, Hornby. You dick.
Well, fantastic. If that doesn't encourage you to check out the book, I don't know what will. Just before we move into the songs, we've got some late breaking news about what Robbie Nielsen was wearing in his post-match interview, recalling Paulo Sergio but making it his own with a fabulous maroon pullover over it's just I can't go on. And we go to Robert for his reaction. Thanks, Robert. You've been emailing. We've got quite a few emails this week.
Emails.
So well done. Thank you, everybody. A couple of just shout outs from Liam Summers, who's telling us that he's enjoying the podcast from up in Shetland. And he did contribute an Osman Soul song to the tune of Are You Gonna Go My Way, but I'm not going to sing it because I can't be arsed listening to a Lenny Kravitz song to figure out what the tune is. Jim Bryson emails to say, just listen to your Hibs podcast, really enjoyed it. As an exiled Jambo, makes a huge difference to hear unbiased first-hand info.
So it's so unbiased, it's unreal.
Yeah, so Jim Bryson is clearly clinically insane. Thank you for that. John Smith, who contributed last week's stunning Ali Mostark Hallelujah effort, emailed back with another song, and to that I say, quit while you're ahead. Right, so we got a good one from Gordon Fairbairn, who
Fairbairn.
he contributes a Prince Boabin song. Prince Boabin, 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 keep the football flowing, not too bad at scoring onside. Stylish like a model, more talent than Glenn Hoddle, with the gifted Gomez at his side. Flicks and tricks and tackles, wins the midfield battles, winning the famous maroon and white with pride. Yep. Get stuck in, get a win, pass to him, Prince will win, play him in, cross him in, go wide. Get stuck in, get a win, pass to him, Prince will win, play him in, knock it in, onside. Only flaw of that is making onside the absolute crux of the song there. Like, it's not like everybody's sitting there cheering, it's like, yeah, he beat the trap, he monitored the line.
You the man, Prince.
Just make sure you're onside.
Yeah, absolutely.
Onside.
I kind of get the feeling that Gordon Fairbairn's the type of person who watches a throw and is just like, yeah, 2 feet on the deck, release the ball behind his head, textbook. But yeah, other than
He's
that,
in the D.
fantastic effort. And finishing up the emails, Colin Scott
Good name.
contributes this. Stubbsy, the big-nosed Hybie, had a disappointed face, and he just sat there slowly dying. Robbie jumped all over the place. All of the Heart supporters couldn't believe what they had seen. Just when the game looked over, upset the man Ali. Don't shoot, they said in unison, you'll never score from there. But Forrest took 40 yards ain't far. He smacked it in straight off the bar. Getting there. Now all the Jambos love him, and they shouted out with glee, Alan, the Turkish legend, you'll go down in history.
Yes,
Well done.
That's good.
Thank you for all of that, gentlemen. And if any of you guys wish to contribute, we have no cares at gmail.com. Thank you. So we come to our own efforts for songs this week. Not a vintage week for picking out the clear man of the match. I feel
we had to dip into the unused bank. We were saving it for a special occasion.
Well, yeah, but let's face it. Morgado Gomez is the choice this week, and mostly off the back of the fact that it's been basically fantastic in every game so far, without having that decisive contribution, which I think speaks more to his game than anything else.
Yeah.
But today he did do that back heel.
Oh,
so
yes. Although I also say that Öztürk was magnificent today. Other than his goal was fantastic. But I thought he had a great game as well.
For the first time in a long time, I think all three, for some reason, three man of the matches were bang on the money. Where it was Gomez, Öztürk, and McGee.
Yeah,
I thought McGee played very well as well. So, yeah. But we chose Morgaro.
Yeah,
Gomez.
So right. Okay, then I will begin. Is everybody sufficiently prepared?
I am absolutely sitting down.
Yep.
Mine's is just off the cuff, so it's whatever comes.
Yeah. I just let the muse take me.
It's funny. It's funny because it's not true.
Okay. Morgaro Gomez, he wins the ball, passes to So, and I just can't explain why he don't play in Spain.
That was good. I thought you were going to burst into a massive chorus there, and I'm slightly disappointed because you didn't.
Rob, you go next, please.
Right. From Senegal, her name's Morgaro. Ah, no, I fucked it.
Yes! That was as bad as French.
Becky, right.
Keep that in.
Yeah, I'm not giving you a second chance. Well done, Robert. Great effort.
Oh, shit. No, right.
Mr. Bowie.
Gomez rocks. He can spray a pass and he can walk. As long as he's at HMFC, we'll always be better than high bees. Dim, 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 dim. Laban's good, but Gomez gives him drink and gives him food. As long as he's at HMFC, we'll always be better than high bees. I'm still going. Baby tonight by the fire, all alone, you and I. Nothing around but the sound of my 5-1 DVD. Gomez rocks. He can spray a pass and he can walk. As long as he's at HMFC, we'll always be better than high bees. And Blabbin's good, but Gomez gives him drink and gives him food. As long as he's at HMFC, we'll always be better than high bees.
Mine seems shite though.
No.
That's what happens when Bowie drinks salty. Fuck Robert.
That's fucking incredible.
Right. I don't want to be like the incredibly uncultured person. I don't know what song that was.
It was Forever in Blue Jeans by Neil Diamond.
Yeah, I knew that.
Fuck's sake, Nicole.
Great, I've got no idea what.
I don't know what Neil Diamond is.
Yeah, no idea. Right, great. Well, I mean, it was phenomenal. I love your assessment of a football player and that he can pass and walk.
Yes.
That's minimum requirements. Well, it was.
I really wish I'd stuck to my original Gomez song now because I thought like
Was it Forever in Blue Jeans by Neil Diamond?
no.
I think we have to hand that to Mr. Bowie.
100% Bowie is like fucking dick.
So, thank you very much, Mr. Bowie. Andrew Henry Bowie. Look out for his works on Amazon. 2 Miles to Tynecastle and
The Death of Mr. Grumble.
The Death of Mr. Grumble.
Poor guy.
The death of Robert's songwriting credentials is what we had.
The death of Robert's liver will be out soon.
We now have a Twitter for you to follow.
Yes.
For all of our doings. Robert is the curator of
At We Have No Cares. It's a surprising name. It's one out the left field, but I thought I'd go for it.
Well done, you original bastard.
Thanks. And also, I'm gonna do the rest of it.
Okay.
We also you can catch this episode and the rest of our episodes at wehavenocares.tumblr.com. Email us, as we mentioned before, at wehavenocares@gmail.com. And you can catch myself at RF Borthwick.
And where can you catch me, Robert, if you're so determined to do all of them?
Okay then. You're at Nicol Hay, that's Nicolhay.
Fantastic.
And
I'm at AH Bowie 1874.
Steve Crawford.
Steve Crawford.
Steve Crawford.
Amoruso, that's a run, it's a dive!